My name is Velma McDermott, and I just graduated from Florida International University with my BFA.
My name is Colt. I am a photographer. I go to UCF. I graduated a month ago, I believe, so I graduated this year.
My name is Tabatha Gonzalez, and I was a student at the University of Florida. I just graduated spring 2018.
Hi, I'm Sophia Baldwin. I go to Florida State University. I'm in my third year sculpting and doing lots of fun art things at school. But when I found out about this, there's sort of like an application process before the actual application process. And my teachers told me that they had chosen me and two of my really good friends. And then I thought it was sort of like this really honorable thing that my professors recognized that I was working hard, but I didn't think it would happen. And then I got the email that, congratulations, you're in the show. And it was so awesome and really special because I've never had to travel to be in a show or had art in a real museum. That's super special and really big honor. So I was just totally stoked to hear about it and excited to make some more art and finish some things up for the show here.
My body of work, I did travel back to Oklahoma for most of the photography, for the photos. My body of work focused more on me and my culture. I am a Native American. I'm Muskogee Creek, and that I feel as if that's an important subject as far as getting others to understand more of who we are as people. And that was why I decided to focus on it, and going back and revisiting my home where I grew up and not being there for the many years. And decided to escape the hurricane. We went back to Oklahoma to get out of the storm's path, and so while I was there, it was a perfect opportunity for me to do some work. And so, being back home, you get to experience some of what it was like for us to be growing up, or those memories, the nostalgia of going back home, and like I said, the culture and our upbringing, and just that difference of how I see a balancing of two different worlds. And so I know that that's a huge, it's a broad subject, and you can only do so much for one bit at a time. So that's how I started to sort of build off of that. And it's something I've been working on for a few years now, and I'm going to continue to work on until I decide that that's enough. But that's really what my focus is on the work. On my photography is my culture, my background, because I just feel that it's not so much discussed as there's a lot going on in the world, and it's this indigenous culture that existed here in the United States of America, but a lot of the history you don't hear too much about, a lot of the truths you don't hear too much about. So it's like I said, it's a broad subject, but it's part of who I am. So that is why I've decided to focus on it.
My work deals with rural culture and empathy, and the animals that are considered nuisances, and almost not necessary animals for the environment. Supposedly what people think. And my work deals with empathy, but personifying the markings that we leave on these animals and the torture that we inflict on these animals, by engaging these traps on my hands and building traps of my own from personal knowledge and from growing up in this culture. I look to empathize with these animals and to create almost a discussion on how these animals are treated and how we should treat them and respect them. And my work definitely deals with the respect of these animals that are considered nuisances and unneeded.
And this is some of the work I made while I was there the past 2 years. A lot of my work has to do with my heritage, being Puerto Rican and Colombian, and the religious roots and history of immigration and assimilation processes. And so several different topics that I'm trying to explore in these different works. So for this piece is called The Tobacco Offering, and I was trying to create a offering environment through my work and through images that I could obtain. So, for example, using tobacco, which has always been used throughout Taino and different religious practices when it comes to offerings and that kind of stuff, and then dead fish and the semi, which is Taino god, and almost trying to objectify the action in response to everything that's happening politically. And so that's kind of where the work was headed towards. Right now I'm working on more almost dystopian, some landscapes like these, and very almost isolated environments that I'm trying to depict through my current work now. And that's kind of just me interpreting what's happening digitally with images and how I feel in this time period. And so I'm using a lot of digital technology to sketch out these ideas, and then I'm trying to put them down using layering in these paintings and trying to create these dystopian environments in a way.
This is a piece I made. It's called the Illuminated Instrumental Proxyoptoscope, because really a musician is supposed to partake with it, but it's based off of acceleration and hand moments. So a viewer would look through the kaleidoscope part of it while someone is doing an action off to the side, drumming or playing guitar, and there's this visual sort of participation for someone who's not necessarily taking an action. I'm wearing it right now to demonstrate, but really someone would be right here just looking, and someone would be making movements that give you a whole visual element to an experience that might usually be auditory, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I'm gonna take it off. So this sculpture is really special to me because my most favorite professor was teaching me at the time when I made it, and I came to her with this idea, and I was like, Rotem, I want to make this sculpture, and she was like, oh, that's not going to work, that's awful. What are you really going to make? And I was like, oh, I don't know, no one's ever been true with me that way. But this is the result of that, and it's a wearable sculpture that you look through, and all of a sudden your perspective is different, and it's these hands that go on your face, but they can't be your hands because they're cold, and the position is off, and they're smaller than yours are anyway. But yeah, it's just this sweet little piece that you're meant to get a new perspective. Oh.
Some plastic.
Well, and it leaves residue too, so your action is always recorded. But yeah, it was really fun to make.
I actually do want to pursue my master's, and I do want to do more undergrad work, because eventually if I'm going to be teaching, I want to make sure that I'm well trained, and I know that there's a lot more to learn as far as more about photography, more about art. You know, it's very big. So yeah, I want to continue and get my master's.
My plans out since I've graduated, I am moving to Gainesville to hopefully get a job in a gallery, work as an artist, continuing my practice. I want to take at least 3 years off before I go to grad school, and continuing my body of work and developing more ideas and more processes behind it.
Right now, because I definitely have another year in school, but I want to travel, I want to take time off and just really make art and go have experiences and make art about those experiences. I feel like a lot of my greatest influences are people who lived adventurous, wonderful lives and then had so much to talk about in their stories or their dancing or their art or whatever it was. So I want to go become one of those people, I guess. Right now I'm interning at Disney, and I did that last summer, so I know that between that and the studio I work in at town in Tallahassee, I'm going to get a lot of technical competence, but I think I just want to focus on my own art for a while after graduation and just go have some good experiences. That's the plan.